joined us this evening. So it is my great pleasure to be sharing information about Aim High today. It's a charity that we have been supportive of for a long time at St. Supéry, and I think you'll be excited to know more about what they do. Aim High nurtures the power and potential of every student. Aim High was founded with the belief that every student has the right to a quality education, and their transformative summer enrichment program has empowered thousands of middle schoolers from low-income neighborhoods, igniting a lifelong love of learning. And, it's measurable, because 97% of Aim High alumni, these middle school students, graduate high school and go on to college. And that's just a statistic we all love to hear. There's enough studies that we've read and been exposed to that share with us how critical the summer is for students of every age, and particularly students who don't have the resources to go to summer camp, to be engaged in different activities during the summer. They really fall behind, and they fall behind their peers who have a lot of those other options. And Aim High is here to change that for these middle school students. And we're delighted to have with us today Alec Lee, the executive director and co-founder of Aim High. Alec is an accomplished educator. He co-founded Aim High in 1986, and he collaborates with Aim High staff and the board of trustees to sustain, strengthen, and expand their reach and their strategic goals every year. Alec has a master's degree in education from Harvard University, a BA in history from Bowdoin College, and received the Klingenstein Fellowship from Teachers College. In 2016, Alec was honored as a White House Summer Learning Champion of Change. Under his leadership, Aim High won the National Summer Learning Association's Excellence in Summer Learning Award, not once, but twice, in 2006 and 2018, showing that they're continuing to improve as they go on. I'm just super excited to have you with us today, Alec. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much. It's really a privilege and pleasure and honor to be with all of you this afternoon. I will have my glass of wine a little later this evening, but I'm really looking forward to it. And I also want to say, I want to start by just appreciating generosity. Aim High and other like-minded programs, we thrive and flourish because of investments. And Emma, what you have done is you've walked the walk and talked the talk around supporting quality nonprofits that are really game changers for kids and teachers and families. So kudos to you and your team, and I'm looking forward to our conversation. What's a good place to start?
Well, a great place to start would be for you to share with us the history of Aim High and how the organization took shape.
Yeah. And what I'd like the listeners, if they remember a couple things from our conversation, I'd like them to remember this. Here's why we matter. I think it's important for everybody, in thinking about game-changing nonprofits. Why do they matter? And Aim High matters really for three reasons. And Emma actually alluded to a couple of them. Number one is that summer matters. Summer is unequal in our world, and it's become more unequal the last 2 years. And so summer learning is a time for opportunity and learning and engagement, but not everybody has those opportunities. And as Emma mentioned, it's research backed. We know that summer learning loss is real, and it's also cumulative. So number one, summer matters. I like to think in threes. So summer matters. Number two is middle school matters. For those of you out there listening, if you have a middle school child, you know that it's a critical juncture in the lives of kids. And it's even more critical in the lives of kids with limited resources, or as I like to say, limited resources, but unlimited potential. And so again, summer and middle school, but let me mention the third, and that's community. And we've seen in the last 18 months how relentless and challenging the world has been, and community and belonging and being seen are just critical in the lives of young people. So Aim High matters for those three reasons: summer, middle school, and community. And then just very quickly, the inspiration for Aim High came from a program that I worked in many years ago. I've been doing Aim High for 35 years. But before that, I worked in a program called Horizons Upward Bound, and Upward Bound was part of Lyndon Johnson's Great Society effort to close the achievement gap through high quality programs. And Upward Bound is for typically for high school students. But I decided with a colleague that we wanted to intervene. We saw an opportunity to support middle school kids. So that was the inspiration, Emma, back in 1986 when we opened with one campus, 50 kids, tuition free, obviously, for 5 weeks in the summer, making a multi-year commitment. And then fast forward, let's look ahead to summer 2022. We will have 16 programs across the Bay Area and beyond, including one in Napa. We'll serve over 2,000 kids. It's a completely tuition-free program. So it's a good story. It's an inspiring story. And as I said, philanthropy has helped make it possible. So I'll stop there.
Well, I do. Some of the things that I love about your program is it opens the students who haven't seen the potential to new careers, to what their potential can be, and how they can go to college, and that can be a reality, and how math and science are interesting and fun. Can you tell everybody a little bit about the programs and services that you do offer in the summertime?
Sure. Well, and Emma, just extra credit for you for doing your homework. You really know Aim High well. So how about if I talk about kind of a typical summer and a typical day? Our program, as I've said a couple of times, is tuition free. It's 5 weeks. We have campuses all across Northern California, typically about 150 kids per campus. And kids are with us for 5 weeks, but it's also really important. We make a 4-year commitment to kids. So kids are with us for 4 consecutive summers, rising 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th. 9th grade is their final summer, and they graduate from Aim High. And a typical day is definitely academic enrichment, and I use the word enrichment on purpose. So kids will do 25 days of math and science and humanities, and then a class that's kind of legendary at Aim High called Issues and Choices. And all these classes are project-based, are taught by typically 2 or 3 teachers in a classroom, are very hands-on, fun, engaging. And then in the afternoon, kids do co-curricular activities. And I mean, listen, you name it, they do it. So everything from dance to hip hop to newspaper, poetry, art, sports, bike repair, bird watching, hiking. That's all part of the afternoon. We like to say a day of Aim High is like a week of regular school. But Emma, I also appreciate the fact you mentioned our school culture and our college going culture. So in the course of the summer, every student will make a college visit. Every student will meet Aim High graduates at the different colleges that they go visit. And then career awareness is also a critical part of Aim High. And a lot of that career awareness is driven by Aim High graduates who are giving back to the program. And obviously we haven't been able to do it the last 2 summers, but you know what? We're going to be able to do it in 2022. We're coming back, we're coming out of this. And so kids will be visiting college campuses, kids will be visiting workplaces. This has been, by the way, a very robust part of our program up in Napa. So that's a typical day. That's a typical summer. The last piece I'll mention is that there's quite a bit of family engagement and support and involvement. And that's critical to making our program work.
Yeah, your program is really wonderful. And I know with the Napa Valley Education Foundation, we've also been offering the teachers a lot of opportunities to learn more about career potential so they can share that with the students. We've had some interns at St. Supéry rotating through different departments. The wine industry, I like to say, is every business. we're agriculture, marketing, sales, manufacturing, art, hospitality, you name it. We have all of the industries sort of rolled into one. So it's kind of a nice place also for the students in Napa to see the diversity just here and the types of jobs that we offer. So tell us a little bit about the style of teaching that you're doing. You alluded to it just a little bit and how different it is in the classroom.
Yeah, it is different. I mean, the style of teaching, again, our classes are typically kind of 15, 16, 17 kids. We have a lead teacher who's an experienced credential teacher. And then every classroom also has an assistant teacher who's typically a college student, sometimes a high school student. And I think one point I want to make to everybody listening is a very high percentage of our teaching staff, especially the high school and college students, are graduates of Aim High. So they graduate that summer before ninth grade, and then they come back to work in Aim High when they're in high school and college. Of course, we've been around for 35 years. So some of our experienced teachers, some of our site directors are Aim High graduates. We've been in Napa now for 6 years. And so now we have our first Aim High graduates who are coming back to be part of the staff as high school students. These are all paid positions, by the way. So our classes are team taught. Team teaching is something we've been committed to since the very first summer of Aim High. And we do a ton of professional development for both our teachers and assistant teachers. And then just a quick aside, Emma, if it's okay, I know we ask people to invest in our program. That's how we're tuition free for 2,000 kids. And I want to mention the impact of your investment, which is obviously first and foremost supporting kids in the summer. But another part of Aim High's impact is our impact on teachers. And we've seen this in Napa, that Aim High has strengthened the skills of professional teachers, but also propelled young people into careers in teaching. So, a dollar invested in Aim High, I like to say, goes a long, long way. But yeah, we're really proud of our teaching model and our work with teachers and also aspiring teachers.
And that actually leads me to kind of what are some of the milestones and accomplishments that you've achieved? I mean, it's been 35 years, Alec, which is pretty darn exciting.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that question. So I would say milestone number one is, I remember the first day of Aim High. I was on that sidewalk outside of school in San Francisco, our very first campus, when the first 50 kids showed up. And that's how many kids were part of Aim High that first summer. So, I think milestone number one is we've expanded to multiple regions all across Northern California, the East Bay, the Peninsula, Marin County. We have a program in Tahoe Truckee, and we're super, super proud of our program in Napa. So expanding a model that's proven, a model that has proven impact to multiple regions. And, our priority and our heart really lies in Northern California and the Bay Area. The reality, Emma, as you know, is there's plenty of need. And in places like Napa and Truckee, more rural campuses, there's very little in terms of opportunities during the summer. So, that's a milestone I'm really proud of, is our growth and expansion to different regions. But then I'm also proud of the fact that, as you mentioned, we track our alums. We know that they go do great things in college and beyond. We've had alums who have been elected to the Board of Supervisors in San Francisco. We just had an alum elected to the College Board in San Francisco. We had an alum who was president of the school board in Oakland. And these are alums who, of course, give back to Aim High as well. So that's a milestone I like a lot. Obviously, being honored by the Obama White House in 2016 was a really, really special moment for Aim High and for me, to have our model recognized and our impact recognized. So, lots of great milestones along this 35-year journey. Thank you for that question.
Well, I think, for me, I was on the Napa Valley Vintners Grants Committee at the time. Aim High came to Napa Valley. And, from my recollection was it was a very simple decision for us to help fund you starting a campus in Napa Valley, because we've done a lot of research about how students continue to fall back in the summertime.
Sure.
And as a team, we recognized how important it was to invest in Aim High. And we were actually super excited about it because we had an early initiative education program going on. We were supporting Summer Search, which is a national program for high school students.
Yeah.
And so it fit really nicely into the education model. And when I think of like great vision, and you've been doing this for 35 years, how do we expand this across the country, this wonderful methodology of learning and focusing on the middle school students?
Yeah, well, thank you for that really nice walk down memory lane. I guess that was about 6 or 7 years ago, and we were working with the Cowell Foundation, but also you're right, the Vintners stepped up, and perhaps Rick Jones is listening on this call. I hope so. I wouldn't be surprised. But I remember a group came to visit our program. We have a program in San Rafael, and we have a program in Novato in Marin County. And by the way, there are poor kids in Marin County, and the gap is very wide. And Aim High exists to help close that gap and create opportunities. But the Vintners came to visit, and we applied for the grant, and you funded us in a very big and generous way, which allowed us to launch in Napa. And last summer we were able to support about 55 kids in Calistoga as well. So there's plenty of need. The summer in rural communities can be very barren, very hard time for kids with limited opportunities, and that's where we intervene. And I wouldn't be surprised to see Aim High expand beyond the Bay Area in Northern California, and that'll be exciting for the organization to think about in our next chapter.
Absolutely. And so, during the last 35 years, I'm sure you had some great challenges.
Yeah.
You want to share how kind of some of the challenges you faced and how you overcame them?
Sure. What a good question. Well, whether it's Aim High or Summer Search or the Boys and Girls Club, college track, we funding is always a huge challenge. We don't live in a society where after school and summer, is valued the way it is in other places where it's just kind of built in. So, there have certainly been times over the last 35 years where we've had funding setbacks, and that's caused us to retreat in some small ways. And in terms of addressing it, one reason we've become more sustainable, and I'm going to do air quotes on sustainable because sustainability is elusive in this field, is by expanding to new regions and heightening our visibility, but also just bringing our program to communities where summer is really necessary and summer is missing. That's helped us. Gosh, am I really going to say this? I think I will, build our brand, build our visibility, expand our donor base. I think our other challenge has been saying no occasionally, which is not easy, because we know our model is really effective in lots of neighborhoods and communities, but, we have a limited capacity and bandwidth. So so that's a challenge as well. And then, the Bay Area, a current challenge we're facing is the challenge around teacher shortage and people leaving the profession, given just how relentlessly challenging the last year and a half has been. And so, our commitment around that is to continue to grow our own teachers and mint our own teachers, who then, of course, work for us in the summer. So there's some enlightened self-interest. Oh my gosh, what a great picture. Do you mind if I say a word about it?
Please do.
Yeah. So for the past 20 years, we have been giving an award to our kind of most inspiring young college, the assistant teacher piece we have at Aim High. And And it's named after a teacher from Aim High from many years ago who died way too young, and her parents set up this award in her honor. So this is a picture of the young people from 2021 who were recipients of the Anne Murray Ladd Teaching Fellowship, and many of them are committed to pursuing careers in education. And last summer, 2020, we gave the award to a young woman in Napa. And so, yeah, thank you for sharing that picture. That's a really nice memory from this summer. Yeah, that's the future of the teaching force, and Aim High is playing a big role in propelling them into teaching. Yeah, thanks for sharing that picture. I appreciate it.
Well, Alex, share with us kind of one of your most meaningful moments as a leader at Aim High with the students.
Well, there have been a lot of meaningful moments, and I'll share one from this summer. Obviously, in 2020, we were completely virtual. The whole world was locked down. That was super challenging, but we developed Aim High at home, and we had over 1,000 kids. And then this summer, we were fortunate to do both virtual, but also some really engaging in-person programming, primarily in the afternoon. And then every Friday, we had groups of kids at the new ropes course in San Francisco, which is part of Outward Bound. And earlier I said Upward Bound, great program. Outward Bound is also a really outstanding program. And, just being there on a Friday with a big group of kids and just seeing joy that we were actually coming out of this. It was before kids were vaccinated, but we were outside and everybody was in masks. And, that's a very, very recent highlight, Emma. I suppose I could talk about the first day of Aim High back in 1986, which I remember. That was a huge highlight. But this summer, just seeing kids being together after this relentlessly challenging time was just a huge, huge highlight for me. So, and, we've, as you can imagine, like many organizations, we do our annual event and our annual gala, and having graduates come back and speak at that is always very, very powerful.
Mentioning just this, period of COVID that we've been in, we're still really not out of it for the kids. There's no before care. A lot of the after care programs at schools are canceled. And, it's really a challenge further because you're not just losing that extra activity and interaction and education that you would get, that you would miss out on in the summertime. You're missing out on it after school as well, because those programs are just not there in so many instances. Right. I think that's another item we're going to have to address moving forward.
Yeah, there was, now I've lost all track of time, probably like all of us have during this, but there was a New York Times magazine cover story issue, and it was called, "Will This Be the Lost Year for Children?" And you're right, we're not out of it yet, and recovery is going to be very challenging. And that includes, as you said, before care and after school, but also summer. And it's been interesting listening to educational experts, the past year, and they've pointed out, like, summer really matters. Summer really matters. And it's not just any summer, but it's the kind of summer that Aim High has been doing for 35 years. As I said, community, belonging, being seen, enrichment and project-based. So you're right, we are not out of it. Summer is going to be very important in 2022. Aim High is poised and ready to do more. And by the way, that's do more in Napa County as well. I know that's near and dear to your heart. We're not out of it. And Aim High is, as I said, poised and ready to support recovery and do more.
Yeah, well, let's hope we can see some grants coming out of some of these movements and things that are happening with the Build Back Better plan. And hopefully we can get some of that. But we do have just a short clip here of one of your students, which do you want to tell us a little bit about her journey?
Yeah. So thank you. I think for the people tuning in, I think this is about a minute and a half or 2 minutes. And it's a story of a member of our first graduating class, Nancy. And so she was with Aim High for 4 summers and then graduated. Her final summer was the summer before ninth grade. She goes to high school in Napa now. And we decided to feature her with a very short video, and you'll hear her talking about, what was different about Aim High? Why did it matter? Why did she look forward to coming back to Aim High summer after summer? And of course, now she'll be employed by Aim High. She'll have a summer job next summer when we're back in person. And I'm looking forward to seeing Nancy and giving her a big hello up in Napa next summer. So on that note, why don't we tune in and take a look at a member of our first graduating class.
When I first started Aim High, I was very shy. When I had a question in class, I'd wait till after everyone left. This is my 3rd summer at Aim High. I will be a 9th grader, and I've grown so much. Now in class, if I have a question, I will raise my hand. If I don't understand anything, I talk to the teacher right away. My grades went from B's, C's, and even an F to B's, and even sometimes an A. During the school year, when we learned something new in class, I'd tell myself, where do I know this? I know this from somewhere. And I'd be like, oh yeah, it's from Aim High. And then I already feel prepared for the rest of the class. Aim High encourages me to be myself because you're not judged here. You can be yourself and no one's gonna criticize you. If anyone does, you can always go to an adult because they'll help you no matter what. They won't put it aside. They'll get to it right away.
Nancy has always been a go-getter. She's always looked for opportunities. A lot of kids don't have an opportunity to go outside of Napa, don't have opportunity to visit universities, go on field trips. With Aim High, Nancy has seen what a great future she can have.
My parents have always wanted me to go to college and get an education so that I can have a good career. Aim High is opening that path for me.
Well, I certainly love seeing her writing her career either in law or a chef on the board as she's thinking about the potential that she has. I love that range and all that inspires. It was really exciting to see her story. And, Alec, we talked about funding and the challenges of funding, of course, like every nonprofit. And here we are on Giving Tuesday. And, this coming summer, we're going to have a luncheon for you at the winery, I believe on July 8th. And so anyone, listening in who wants to make a donation to Aim High at aimhigh.org/donate, they will have an opportunity with a $500 donation to come and join us for lunch at St. Supéry. Just note St. Supéry on that donation, but perhaps you can share a little bit on how people can get involved either by joining your gala and attending that, coming to lunch with us next year. It's a great Christmas gift to give, and what $500, $5,000 does.
Sure. Thank you. I'm echoing a little bit. Oh, now I'm not. Okay, fantastic. Thank you again for showing Nancy's story. I also, I love the part that you mentioned. I also love when she's like, where did I learn that from? Oh yeah, I learned it from Aim High. I mean, that's the Aim High magic at work. But our cost per student is about $2,500, and that's for a full 5-week program and then academic year support. You can probably do the math in your head. It's about $500 a week. It's $100 a day. And we like spending that for kids. And so a $500 donation or a $1,000 donation will help in a very substantial way to support an Aim High student. And in terms of getting involved, we haven't done this for the last 2 years, but we'll do it in 2022, which is we will have visiting days at different campuses. We'll have one at our Napa campus. We'll have it in San Francisco and the East Bay. Please come and enjoy some time with Aim High, having breakfast or lunch and meeting kids and graduates and teachers. I promise you it'll be the best part and a highlight of your summer. And then we will also be doing events next year. I mean, who knows if organizations will do galas again, but we will be doing smaller events and celebrating our work and celebrating the magic and the power and the potential of summer and our work with kids and teachers. So we're very easy to find at aimhigh.org. I'm very easy to find at alee@aimhigh.org. I'm happy to answer questions and hear your thoughts, and also have an opportunity to tell you about our ambitious plans for 2022 and beyond.
Well, Alec, thank you so much for joining us. It's really wonderful. We appreciate everything you're doing for our community, our students, and for the future. It's just fantastic. So thank you so much for that. This is the end of our Giving Tuesday chats on the final Giving Tuesday of the month, but we will be continuing our Sharing, Caring, and Holiday Entertaining series the first 2 Thursdays of December. So if you need to find something tasty to cook, Chef Todd will be leading some beautiful culinary demonstrations. We'll be checking in with everyday heroes from our Everyday Hero exhibit at the winery, and of course, drinking great wine and bringing Napa Valley to you. So until then, be well, be kind, and cheers. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you so much, Emma. Really enjoyed it.
Thanks.